Hey everybody, hey guys, welcome to QuaranTea with Kim. Tea with the talent today, the stunning, the kind, the talented Rose Matafeo. Hey Rose.
Stop it. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Well, I am good, and many reasons. I wanted to do this with you before, and then I had no idea that the delight that is your special is now available on Neon. So this actually worked out absolutely perfectly.
This is perfect. It's perfect because I have something to promote, and I only speak to people when I have something to promote. So it's
true?
really good. Yeah, it's really handy. Yeah, I don't even have conversations with someone on the street if I don't have something to kind of hand them a flyer for a comedy show or something. No, it's very good timing. It went on Neon. Like literally, we found out it was gonna, be on Neon, and then the next day it was on Neon. So I was like,
they're like, we'll take it now. That's great.
Yes.
Well, if you, I just fell over there.
Oh God, and also my lights for doing mad reflections in my glasses. I just realized that. Do you want me to take off my glasses or
you can have your glasses
something?
I mean, I've also got my wardrobe, messy wardrobe, Dad's birthday presents.
Yeah, no, okay, good.
We're all very careful.
Great.
Anyone would like Neon and doesn't have it already, all you have to do during the duration of this show is hashtag Neon, please, in the comments below. We're going to slide into some DMs and make sure we gift you guys a month of Neon for a couple of our amazing viewers so that you can watch Rose's special. I'm going to talk about HornDog in a minute, but first of all, I want to talk about the copious amounts of quarantining that you've done, because most people for 2020 haven't traveled, haven't done quarantining, and you've not only traveled, you've also done multiple quarantining.
Yeah, so I have. When I first came back initially to New Zealand in mid-March, we did the 2 weeks of quarantine, which kind of bled into the 4-week lockdown. So it was about 1 week, and then everyone went to lockdown. So it was about 5 weeks in lockdown, and then in New Zealand. And then we had, relative freedom, which was wonderful. And I was very grateful for that. And then, and then I traveled back to the UK at the start of September, and again was in quarantine for a little wee while. But to be honest, weirdly a lot more chill here. Like they weren't as, nowhere near what it is like in New Zealand with all the hotels and stuff. It's like you just go and do it yourself, and they kind of have to trust you. So, but we're good New Zealanders, so we like real sticklers for the rules. Yeah,
we are, right? Like,
yeah.
Don't do this. Like, I remember when I was in LA hearing about like someone who broke quarantine and went for a bike ride or something, and then like the backlash of people being like, they are the scum of the earth. I'm like,
scum of the earth. Oh my God, you disgusting. Well, that's I think that was the strength of New Zealand in terms of kind of compliance, and that kind of sounds like bad, but it's compliance because everyone kind of cared for each other and knew that there was so much to gain from making those sacrifices up front. But yeah, it was still still pretty, because our lockdown in New Zealand was so much more intense than the highest level of lockdown here, even. Like, so we did it pretty hardcore.
Hard and fast, hard and quick. What is
hard? We go hard, go early, go hard, or something.
Okay.
Go hard was definitely in there somewhere.
Yeah. How is your like mental health in those quarantine situations? Because I think what I learned about myself in 2020 was that like actually quite a healthy experience for me. I think my aha moment was that I've carried around my whole life this idea that I don't compare myself to others and that I'm just in competition with myself. And then when lockdown happened and it's the great equalizer, it was the first time I actually was able to relax, because I can't, like, I carry guilt if I chill out and other people are working really hard. So I obviously do compare myself and my outgoing work productivity to other people.
Yeah.
So it was quite healthy for me to be in lockdown. What about you?
I think that's so true. In terms of everyone's kind of victim of that, of tying their self-worth to productivity, because that's capitalism, baby. And that's how everyone, they get us to do the stuff. And I'm so like that as well. I've been programmed, kind of self-programmed, to feel like the more productive I am, the more worthy I am for anything. And to immediately stop doing stuff or having the opportunity to do stuff, it's like a part of my identity was kind of just erased in a way, of going, wait, what do I do now? Because I am just I only have realized it like quite late in life that I am properly anxious. Like I kind of joke about it for so long, but then it is that I think the lockdowns were very much a time where I was like, oh yeah, like you can't relax, and I didn't relax. I probably, it probably worsened it a bit. I felt way like, yeah, I think it was an aha moment in a bad way of going, oh my God, I've based my entire sense of self and self-worth around what I can make and do. And when you take that away, I'm like, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah,
So,
no, I get it. And it's like, so who are you if you took away what you do as a job? And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if I have anything to talk about.
I know, but I think because for us it's like we do things for our jobs. We're so lucky that we really like
Yeah.
are super passionate about and we love and we do for free,
Yeah.
if we had to, and we're lucky enough to like not have to do it for free.
Well,
But
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes, but it's a good opportunity. It's good exposure. It's good exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so so I tried to do stuff that I felt productive in a way of going, what have I always wanted to do that I haven't had time to do? And I got to spend a lot of time with my nan because I was like locked down with my nan for quite a bit of it. And that was awesome. And we watched a lot of telly and we just like slipped into this kind of easy way of life. And I made dinners and yeah, I was so lucky because I got to be home for 6 months at a time when like my niece was born in January. So I got to be like a proper auntie. And I never would have done that because I live in London. I never ever would have experienced that. I had this kind of horrific situation had not happened. But so yeah, it's weird to say that there are some upsides to the predicament or the position that we've all been put in, but I think there totally were.
Yeah, totally.
Mm.
Now, so you are probably one of the few people who managed to slip in the filming of a special that could actually be released during a pandemic, because, you know, I listened to quite a few podcasts with comedians and who are really like, and not to put words in your mouth of saying that you're lucky, but the fact that you're multifaceted in terms of like acting, writing, producing, there are still things that you can create where a lot of people whose all their eggs are in that stand-up basket and there's no live shows, you know, like there's that no event,
100%.
not sure when they will happen. What a bloody dream to have gotten your special filmed with an audience.
I am the luckiest. I'm just one of the luckiest people ever in terms of doing comedy. Like I feel so bad for, you know, comedians who are just a little bit younger than me. Even if this gone down 2 years ago, my life would have been so different because things like Edinburgh would have been shut down and were shut down this year. And it means like a whole bunch of comics weren't able to do their shows. And I have just graduated into this next stage of life where I've got these opportunities to do these TV projects and other writing projects and focus less on performing live. So I shot my special in January. In January 2020, and that seems insane to me. But we got it. It was probably one of the last comedy specials to be filmed, and I was about to start shooting an HBO Max BBC show in March, just before I came back to New Zealand, and that got shut down. But that's what I'm back filming now, which we start filming like very soon. And so it was, but yeah, and so I'm lucky enough to have had like some projects like lined up. But it's just and also I'm lucky enough to be from New Zealand. Came back to New Zealand and did a mini tour with Guy Montgomery. Because you know the levels went down, and we just organized a tour in an afternoon in a cafe, rang up places, emailed places.
I love that New Zealand day. Hey, can we come and do that? Yep. Oh, yep. Cool.
100%. It's crazy. It was so good. And then we got to perform live. So I've just had the most, like, I've been really insanely lucky to be able to do those things. But yeah, it's going to be really tough for stand up or like live performance, I think, in the coming while. But I think people will find ways people will find ways to express themselves in different forms no matter what. So
there was something nice though, because I had watched part of your special and then I finished it last night, and I was like, which by the way, fucking fantastic. My favorite part, a little bit of a spoiler, my favorite part is like the confidence of doing the measurement thing, because I'm like, oh my God, I totally do that. But I do it being like, yeah, that's definitely that length. Right.
I wrote that joke. Fun fact is that I wrote that joke when I was maybe 16. Oh. And then for some reason I was like really desperate on a new material night like last year. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go through my old Google Docs, and then found that. And I was like, I think I have the confidence to finish this joke now. Yeah. But then it's largely unchanged from when I wrote it.
It's great. Oh, what a nice like callback. Like this is still making people laugh.
Yeah, well, I'm actually more talented then.
Okay.
Well, now.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, but there was like this other element besides your special being great, this idea of audience and community that was almost like a voyeur to watch and go like, oh, not canned laughter. Because I know Tom Segura's special, like, I'm not sure if there wasn't many, but it's so obviously,
really? Wow.
Like, and it's like,
that's so weird. Well, yeah. I was lucky because I feel like I had a director and people who making it were really keen to preserve the really live nature of that show. And that show is like, you know, it's pretty tight when I perform it live, you know, and a lot of the things that feel like a bit off the cuff, like aren't off the cuff. They're very, very, you know, the whole ending, you know, is very much planned. And kind of, I've done that show well over 100 times in the past, you know, well over 100 times. I did Edinburgh, Melbourne, New Zealand, then like about a month run in London, and then like, lots of times. And so, but the thing that keeps it, like, I feel like in the special, it feels like, I don't know, it hasn't lost, I think, the, I don't know, it's not spontaneity, but just like the energy of it, because every crowd you're doing it in front of is different. And so that will always create a different experience. Yeah.
It's so interesting because, of course, obviously you've done that show multiple times and it does feel really fresh. Have you ever gone on stage, you can speak to this as much as you want to, where it becomes like a play that you kind of just do it? Yeah. Or not really because you've got people?
No. Edinburgh, you go on autopilot hardcore. But like, you can, and when you're doing something the same thing every day, and you just get into rhythms and you do certain things, and if you do one certain thing slightly different to a day before, in my mind I go, oh, that was different, that was weird, why did I do that? And you were doing it so often that you could kind of check those moments. But also I'm quite a nervous performer, or it's like I'm an anxious person, but like in performing I'm really very hard on myself if I don't do everything perfect. Like I think I am a slight perfectionist. And
I'm 100% a perfectionist, so know that you're in good company. It's not.
Yeah.
Totally. Let me ease your heart by saying like I'm horrible to myself. Like especially if I'm doing an audition or a scene and I'm like, this isn't good. It's almost like an out of body feeling that I'm on the other side of the room going, what the hell? Like.
No, but then also it's like, it's that tough thing is that when you do that, you feel like that you can attribute you getting better at your work because you are hard on yourself. You are a perfectionist and you do like strive to do better every time. But it's such a double-edged sword because then you forget to be kind to yourself and enjoy the good moments. And I think I'm so guilty of that with performing as well sometimes. But I think but yeah, no, definitely you can go into a zone where it's like, also you can go on stage and immediately go, this is going to be a bad show. This is going to be a bad show. This crowd,
So how do you come back from that? Because it's like,
I try and win them over. I try, if I feel I would not, because I'm also a people pleaser who just wants love and affection from people who don't know me at all, not from my closest friends and family, but you know, strangers. I will like obsess over the fact that I'm like, I will change your mind I will charm you until you give me something. And I won't get angry at a crowd. I will never get angry at a crowd. I'm like, I will get you. And that's what I would often do in Edinburgh and in Melbourne and stuff like that. But then the great thing about the show is that once it started getting a bit of like people knew what it was and knew who I was, people who came to it actually were people who wanted to enjoy it. So then it just became a joyous experience of just having fun with it and feeling like I feel sometimes not disingenuous, but and not even fake, but feel weird because I perform every show as if it is the first time I'm performing it with as much energy and as much kind of effort as I can. because I think that's just like a professional thing to do.
Right. Yeah, totally. Like, not
Yeah.
gonna phone it in, like,
Yeah, I'm just not that kind
yeah.
of personality, or I'm kind of, I will always try my hardest, and often, and sometimes very much fail. But I think but that I think that just creates a good vibe in a crowd. Is like, it's a fun place to be, and the person is trying their hardest on stage.
Which I think
I
is
love
like
seeing effort.
that energy is endearing too, though. Like, I imagine it would be harder for a comedian who does that woe is me, disinterested, like, and I understand that's a style and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I just know that me personally, I would be panicking if I was being low energy as a bit, like,
Oh my God. Oh,
out of
completely.
character to me.
I couldn't do it. I mean, Reese Nicholson is another amazing Australian comedian. He's similar to me in that any moment of silence on stage is petrifying for us. It's like, no, fill it with something, because it gives you time to, like, I don't have the confidence to feel like what I'm saying is so important that I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna let that sink in. And it's like, oh no,
I so agree with that, because I know that that's something, when I say it's like what Beyonce does. Like, I remember
yeah,
I remember going to her show and she just stood there with a fan and just looked out, and I was like, nothing would make me more uncomfortable than standing still and allowing people to drink me in. Like,
it would be like crippling for me. It would kill me to have to do that. I would cry out of embarrassment. I'm like, who the hell do I think? And I feel like, sometimes in stand up, it seems like it contradicts the very. I don't know. I think I described stand up the other day, in an interview, as being like people being on stage being like, I hate myself and I want to tell you about it. And it's just like, and I think there are certain comedians who think they're the shit and can, like, be like, I don't know, and usually men, let's be honest, men on the whole. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that, like, that's my on stage persona, is like a nervous, fast talking person, because that's sort of what I am in real life, and it would be very bizarre if I just turned into this dry one-liner comic or something on stage.
Yeah, I did a stand-up class just to try and give it a go, and like that was one of the things, like one-liners and letting them land. It's like, oh, but I don't even stand behind them. So I'm like,
oh my God, no. I mean, like, I think, well, maybe it's just my opinion, but I'm like, it's stand-up is just about you can be, you're the best person at being you. Like, there's no one else like you in the world. I mean, you might be an awful person, but there is definitely no one else like you. You're incredibly unique. And that's why I think the stand-up is going, what is my uniqueness? How can I use that uniqueness to be funny? And also, for me personally, is how I can say things or talk about things that are personal to me that connect with other people. And I think I think I've got such an overwhelming response in terms of, for the special, of people, of, like, especially women my age who grew up the time I grew up, and going, why are you saying all the feelings I feel in my head out loud? And it's like, this is it. I love that. This is like, it's exactly what I want to do, is I want to tap into that, and, like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's such a cool shared experience, I think, to be able to do it with stand up.
Especially shine a light on those kind of inside thoughts as well. Do you off topic, kind of, do you have a narrative in your head? Because this was an aha moment to me recently, that some people don't think in sentences or words. Do you hear a voice, like when you're in the shower, you go, oh, gotta do, you don't?
I don't hear, I don't think I don't hear full sentences. I feel like concepts or words or thought. Like, I don't know. I can't say that I because things most in my head are worries, and they're compounding worries, and they're, like, not like in a linear fashion. It'll be like kind of things popping up, or like, so it will be like, oh, that's a worry, but it's more of a feeling rather than words.
Okay, so we are different. Mine is like a full voiceover in a movie, kind of like.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, this is so exciting. So what does your brain look like? Okay. If your brain was a scene, what's going on?
I mean, I don't know if a scene, but it's sort of like, it's really weird. I'd say because I'm just describing my anxiety or my thought. I think when I'm writing, I do think in like in scenes and in dialogue and stuff. So I would be like thinking about that. But in general, just like walking along, what do I feel? I feel like I listen to music a lot. So it's like, I don't know, it's like feelings and colors and kind of like, it's so hard to describe.
So someone described their brain as like a haunted house, and some doors are locked and some rooms are really lush and some doors are like not going in that door. Like, do you
Oh
have
my God.
a
I think
version of that?
yeah, I mean, haunted house is a pretty good shout. I think, I think my, I've never, I never have thoughts not racing in my head and like racing all the time and
Mm-hmm.
pricking off. So it's kind of like, it's like, you know, when it's raining in a pond, that's what it feels like, like all of these ripples, like things dropping into a pond and ripples like affecting other ripples and stuff, or it's like walking down a street and bumping into a bunch of people that you don't like and going, oh hi, hi, yeah, great to see you, great to see you.
Perfect way to describe it.
Yeah,
I love it.
those are my thoughts.
Mine is a woman looking to camera with frizzled hair, and she's surrounded by like overflowing filing cabinets, and you've just asked her to get something and she knows it's in one of them but not sure where.
I
Like,
love that. I love that.
like,
God, yeah. Who's the tiny person in your brain? Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's so great.
Because I think my big thing is like, I know I have all the skills and tools and things to always help myself, yet they're not at the ready to like in the moment.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I'm like, I could have done that better. I could have done these are things we know, Kim.
You know, I think I've changed my answer. I think it's in my brain is a really stressed out chef. That's what it is. It's like Gordon Ramsay in a kitchen being like, where's that fucking pan of sauce? What the fuck? That's what it is. That's a really weird accent.
Those are all great. No, those are all great visuals. I like the pond one. That makes sense. That's yeah, it's such a good way to like get insight. I spoke to Chloe Swarbrick and she was like, her brain is just shapes changing, kind of like yeah. I was like,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like Chloe. That sounds like classic Chloe, like smart, weird math shit, probably.
Yeah. I imagine it's like, when you go
Beautiful
through
mind.
and there's math equations solving and mine's like I love you more than you know. You're wonderful, you are talented.
I love you too.
Everybody needs to go and watch your special. It is, I don't want to give away any of kind of the main subject matters, but it's fun, enjoyable. There's heaps of takeaways in it. I felt really good, and it's like sitting in a room with you and getting to like drink in all your deliciousness of delight. And it made me feel good. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right in the feedback that you're getting from people, especially women. It's like that permission to have those feelings that for most of my life carried a lot of shame for me of inside thoughts, and now going like, nah, that's cool and universal. So
I think we are so incredibly similar in the way of we are like high achieving teens who were like so very ambitious and like set, like just like mindset on something, and we're like just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And kind of that obsession, that feeling, like it's not even a bad feeling. Like I think obsessions can be really bad, and I think, but there's this, you know, again, like the energy to that kind of that feeling when you're that age, when you're a teenage girl, and even when you still have them when you're an adult woman, that like just makes you want to do stuff and make stuff. And I think I appreciate you, because you're such a person who, getting to know you through like the last 5 years, oh my god, 5 years, 5-6 years. Probably. You're so like that. You're so hardworking. I just love it. This is like the Drew Barrymore show now. Actually, what she always does is she invites people on, and then they just compliment each other until
that's great. That's fun. What a great space.
I love this.
I love it. I want to end with a toast now. You know, when the original concept of doing this show was kind of toast to someone pandemic wise. But I think for you, it's almost like you can do your acceptance speech if there's someone, because, as Kiwis, we obviously are incredibly proud of your success, especially because it's so exciting to see now the world get to see what we've been so lucky to have had to ourselves. And I can say that as someone who's worked alongside you and opposite you on a set as well, and know what you bring to it. And this idea that other people get to do that is so rad. But yeah, is there anyone that you would like to do a toast to and just kind of, thank or acknowledge at this point that you're at?
I would like to thank, I know who I thank. I mean, she won't even be watching this or whatever, but I would probably I'd probably thank my specifically my mom and my nan and my whole family, really. But you can't, I don't think you can do, well, I certainly couldn't do comedy when I was 15. Like I said, when I was 15, and have parents who were just so supportive of it. I mean, because they just didn't give a shit, because they were like, yeah, do whatever you want if it's free. Yeah, great. But right. But we didn't have much in the way of being able to do extracurricular stuff. My mum was always so supportive about that stuff, but especially my nan, she's just the iteration of unconditional love and support. I did this film recently, and she made cakes for me to take to set, and pavlovas in the shape of my name, my initial, and smoke, and it's just I of course, with a family like that, I was just set up for the easiest time of it. So I will toast Jessie, my nan, and Diane, my mum, and also you, Kim Crossman.
Jessie and Diane, I love that.
Jessie and Diane. Dang, great mug.
Thank you. Just promoting our other shows.
Our other show.
Our fantastic work together. I love you dearly. What a nice shout out. And yeah, it's great to have that support. And your nan seems like I've not met her, but I've been witness to some of the amazing food that you've brought to set and things.
Yeah, I know. I probably should have. I always say hi to her and toast her. She's probably getting sick of it, but she's great. She's a great gal.
Well, I love you. Hey, good luck with filming your show. If anyone does want to, we're going to slide into a few DMs. So #Neon, please, in the comments below. Go and watch HornDog on Neon. It's bloody brilliant. And you're bloody brilliant, and good luck for this next amazing chapter of your own show that you're making.
Thank you, Kim.
I love you.
See you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
We'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.